Hey guys, welcome back to Following Lucha. We are the lore keepers of Lucha Underground. I am Jacy, and as always, I am joined by...
My shop. It's me. It's Steven.
It is Steven. Oh my god, welcome to the podcast this week, Steven. I know, I can see the excitement written all over your face. How pumped you are to get into the episode of Following.
Pumped.
Or not follow, the episode of Lucha Underground that we watched this week, the week of from 2015. And then I hear there's a special twist this week for the current event segment, so that's exciting.
Goodness.
Isn't it?
My gosh, I love these twists and turns and segments, dude.
I know it is. It's all so exciting.
Insane.
But Steven,
Yeah.
how has your week been? I need to know. Before we get into the Following Lucha lore. Yeah.
I got hired to create a video for some guy on Twitch.
Oh, yo,
That's been my
Pokemon
week.
YouTuber.
I was gonna play video games because I got like Guardians of the Galaxy for the PS5 recently.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I hear it's pretty fun. I wouldn't know though because I can't play it because I'm editing a video.
That's tough.
Been taking my
But
entire
you're gonna
weekend.
end up wealthy at the end of when you're done editing the video, Steven. You're gonna have so much cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane.
Get paid in exposure, you know?
Yo, paid in exposure, a hot dog and a handshake.
Like...
You're set, man. You are set. That's crazy. But Steven, we are getting toward the end of season 1 of Lucha Underground with the silly little podcast of ours, Following Lucha.
No way.
Yeah. Kurt Angle must be devastated.
The end of the podcast is coming out, dude.
I know. It's so sad.
It really sucks as people listening for the first time. Like, oh man, this podcast is over.
Well, savor it while it's here, guys. You know, don't dwell on the past. Don't have anxiety about the future. Just be happy we're here right now to cover season 1, episode 37 of Lucha Underground, called PenUltimaLucha. Because the next 2 weeks of Following Lucha, except maybe longer, because we'll do a Christmas special / the Trevors. Which, by the way, guys, send us your picks for the Trevors. Coming soon. The
or
yearly...
we can make a Google poll and link it in the episode. We can do either or.
We could do either or. I say comment who you want to win the Trevors. If you have any category ideas or any nominees, we need more categories is what we need for the Trevors. So send them our way for our year-end Trevor Awards, guys. It's gonna be huge.
These aren't just any wrestling awards. These are gonna be like the greater awards, right?
And the reason
best bald head.
Yes, best baldy in wrestling is going to be a category for sure. Best cuck angle,
death?
I hear. Best wrestling death.
Best cuck angle, also.
And the reason that Steven is overworking himself right now and taking on these additional gigs is because we need to afford the gigantic Golden Trevor trophy that we purchased. It was a huge blow to our budget. Yeah, we are in the red now as a
millions
podcast.
of dollars, dude.
Millions on getting Trevor's bulge recreated. It was crazy, but
don't ask us how he got his full
guys.
body scan. We had to pay someone else for that.
We did, but well worth the funds, guys. Well worth the funds. Be looking forward to the Trevors. But aside from that, I think sandwiching the Trevors are going to be the two halves of Ultima Lucha, the season finale of season 1 of Lucha Underground. So again, before we get there, we have this last episode, PenUltimaLucha, getting real creative with the titles, was the El Rey Network. And as always, the episode starts with a recap. And this recap was simple, Steven. It basically just covered the fact that there are 7 ancient Aztec medallions that have been up for grabs. The winner of all the medallions gets immortality, and there's just one more medal left to be rewarded or awarded, which is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, Steven. Someone is soon to be immortal. That is exciting. And
we're gonna get closer to an immortal being for the first time.
Well, another immortal being, because Phoenix is already there. Phoenix is just a greedy little bastard. Yeah.
Is Mill immortal or is just into reincarnation?
No, because Mill died, if you remember correctly, and Katrina just reincarnated.
Well, Katrina is like a ghost. Aren't ghosts immortal?
Well, yeah, I think Katrina might be immortal, and then Hernandez is also immortal, because I think he's a god, if I remember correctly.
Like legit just God.
Yeah,
yeah,
Christ
like a Christian
incarnate.
God too.
That would be it. That would be it. By the way, Steven, the wrestling store at the mall in San Antonio, they're gonna have Hernandez there this week, so you can meet him.
Shiz.
I know.
Can meet him. What day is Hernandez there?
Oh shit, I don't know. I gotta find it on their Instagram again.
Is it the one in like the really ghetto part of town? Like
it's not at a nice mall, but at least it's not at the Wonderland of the Americas anymore. You know?
Or Ingram.
Yeah, it might be Ingram. It might be.
Oh, okay.
I can't lie. Yeah,
if
yeah.
you guys don't know,
yeah.
Ingram Mall is this mall that has like a shooting every like other week in the parking lot.
Yeah, but we love it for it. It gives them all character, okay? And so that's what we care
getting
about.
mugged, it's part of the experience,
Yep.
you know?
Exactly. So, yeah, the Aztec medallions are being handed out, being won, and then also there's a little reminder that Tejano is the official representative for Mexico in Lucha Underground, despite being born in California and claiming to be born in Texas. And Blue Demon Jr., an actual Mexican legend, takes exception to that and beat up Tejano. So
yeah, he's a bad guy now. The bad man.
When you said fuck him, were you referring to Tejano, the fake Mexican, or Blue Demon, the real Mexican?
Both.
Oh shit.
Both of them.
You just hate the segment. You think Chavo is the real Mexican.
Dude, if WWE were to do this segment, how would you feel about it? Like, just
well, they've done like real American segments, right? Like,
yeah.
So,
well, that's the ironic part, because like it's a Switzerland man, you know, the Swiss man who does it.
No, that's true. But Hulk Hogan was the quote unquote real American.
He is
fighting for the rights of every man.
And
that would have
been
been
Slaughter
awesome
before he became a bad guy and teamed up the terrorist.
That is true. Before he was an Iraqi sympathizer, that is very accurate. But Steven, imagine if they had during like Hulk Hogan's peak, like let's go mid 80s, late 80s, and they did like a birther gimmick with Hulk Hogan, where like the Iron Sheik or fucking Sergeant Slaughter was demanding Hulk Hogan's birth certificate.
Would the Iron Sheik work like today?
What, like a mentally ill man on TV screaming at people? Probably.
Like the gimmick of the Iron Sheik, would it exist today?
Well, what is the Iron Sheik gimmick? I'm not even sure I know. I just know he wore
crazy
pointed
man
shoes.
Just yelling at people.
Yeah, with pointy shoes. I mean, yeah, I think that could work. Quite honestly. But Steven, that's our recap, and then the actual episode starts off in Dario Cueto's office, as it so often does. This time, Dario is joined by a man we used to see in his office a lot, but not so much in recent weeks. We see Big Rick sitting across from the man in charge. I know. And Dario is being very insensitive.
Censored, like next to his head. You notice that?
No.
There's like a thing censored next to his head. I don't know what it was. It was just like a blurred like thingy, like a circle, right next to like his pupil. It was insane.
That's very strange. Was it just a glare in the camera, maybe?
It probably was just like a smudge in the camera lens. Yeah.
Very good. Very professional. I did not notice it, at least. And
or their fingers.
Dario is being very insensitive, and he says that the two of them, he and Big Rick, haven't been seeing eye to eye, which is funny because Big Rick had a cigar shoved in his eye and now he can't see out of it. So like that's but I thought he was able to see out of it, because remember he took his eye patch off that one time.
Maybe like he has like super big pink eye and like kind of like insensitive towards it, you know?
Yeah, it's like long COVID but a long pink eye. It just comes back every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like
it just starts getting pink again. It's like, oh shit, I gotta put my eye patch back on. This sucks.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But basically, Dario's again very insensitive. He says we haven't been seeing eye to eye, and it seems you have been blinded from your real purpose, Big Rick.
I feel like at that point you're doing it on purpose, you know?
Yeah, Dario's a bit of a dick.
After the second one.
Yeah, and Big Rick is rightfully getting offended. He's being mocked for his injury that he sustained in Dario's temple. You know, that's not right. And then Dario's like, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna beat you up.
That's the implication. And Dario says, well, Rick, I want to offer you something special, because I want to get you back on track with your career. You used to be one of the biggest, most successful luchadors here, which, thank you, finally,
my main
it's being
attraction, like week 2.
Exactly.
Or week 1. Yeah.
And no one's been acknowledging the fact that Big Rick's just a scrub now, you know? But Dario's calling him out. Dario's like, I want to get you back on track, Big Rick, and I want to do that by giving you the last ancient Aztec medallion.
It's so lame.
It is lame as shit. And then
everyone else
he
has to fight for their medals, and then this guy just like, hey, I want you to have it just because I don't have enough TV time for matches.
It's true. And also, if you remember correctly, Big Rick wasn't even Dario's first choice. The first choice was Pentagon last week, and Pentagon said, "No, I don't want this shit." So that's tough. But we know,
you know, who's gonna give it to? Joe Blow? No.
That's a great point. Steven, that last week Pentagon turned it down because he just wants to make his master happy, right? And this week, it makes no sense for Big Rick to accept it because we know Big Rick is only interested in the money, and if there's no money, he doesn't care. And so Dario's like, "What's more important to you, Big Rick? The money or the power?" You know, that's a good question. It's a good question.
Mm-hmm. We want to be money, or do you want to be successful?
Mm-hmm. Big Rick says,
I'm pretty sure you can both.
Why can't I have both? And then he snatches the medal from Dario, and then he looks at him menacingly, and then Dario forks over some wads of cash, and then Big Rick leaves with money and a gold coin. So that's kind of
what's the point of that question? He just got both anyways.
Well, maybe Dario was just hoping he'd be happy with the gold coin, you know, which probably is worth a pretty penny. I can't imagine, like, if Big Rick's a smart man right now, he turns around and flips that thing on eBay real quick, you know?
It's on Pawn Stars?
Yeah.
Can give you immortality, dude.
Exactly. Okay. You just have to beat Ray Phoenix and Sexy Star first, okay? But once you do, you're immortal. It's pretty. It's a pretty good deal. So, Steven, that is, I guess, the final competitor in the Aztec medallion match is Big Rick. Okay, so that's exciting.
But we don't know it's a match yet. They just have medals right now.
Well, I guess, but it feels like kind of implied. I feel like it's very implied from the beginning that, like, why else would they give 7 people medallions and say at Ultima Lucha one of you will be immortal? Like, I feel like it's implied there will be a fight to the death happening at Ultima Lucha.
Only one's immortal. Everyone else, fuck them.
Well, also, if Ray Phoenix does not win, two of them will be immortal, to be fair. Just if we're being, like, you know, completely accurate about it.
Maybe he just wants to be unique. I think that's why Ray Phoenix is in this match. He just wants to be like the only immortal.
Well, I hope what happens is Ray Phoenix, with him being so selfish and quirky, I hope he wins the immortality, and then I think we've talked about it before. The double immortality negates itself, and so he ends up being immortal again. Because that'd be very sad.
I see. 2 positives do make a negative.
They do. They do, Steven. Anyways, that's a really profound point.
The next section, right? Of
the next match, even, Steven. The first match of the show.
First match, yeah. What was it? I don't remember.
Well, it was Johnny Mundo versus Tejano, which is a pretty big match. Like, these are 2 bigger stars for the company going one-on-one before the pay-per-view, which means clearly the match is going to have a clean finish, right?
Right.
Yes, I think so. Also, the crowd is this is very rude. The crowd is chanting Johnny Zero when Morrison comes out to the ring, which is very hurtful.
Why?
That is not
Why would they
name.
say that, dude?
Well,
Zero what?
He's not a 10, he's a 0. You know, they're saying he's an ugly bastard, which is rude.
What? I don't think I ever met a 0 in my life.
Never?
Never.
Ever?
Ever.
What would you say is a 0? Like, what do you have to be a 0, Steven?
Like a fetus.
Oh, shit.
Like a dead
You've
fetus.
Never met a fetus? You've never met a dead fetus?
No, you met a dead fetus?
A couple, I think. Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
But, Steven...
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. This is the first ever one-on-one match between Johnny Mundo and Tejano, Matt Striker points out. And Vampiro puts this match perfectly. He says that this match is between the pretty boy and the shit kicker, which is just, that's really profound, you know?
Well, he says shit kicker, but the fucking shit kicker gets the shit kicked out of him in this match. It was crazy.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I like Matt Striker's view of the match, though. He says this is gym strength versus man strength. I think implying Johnny Mundo is not a man. And that's after the whole crowd just pointed at him and called him ugly. So this can't be doing wonders for Johnny's self-esteem, you know?
Johnny.
I know. This man's been so disadvantaged in life, this Johnny Mundo. But Johnny's like killing it. Johnny's beating up Tejano. He's playing dirty. He's running away from all like the big power moves from Tejano. He's fucking killing it, Steven, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what? Maybe his speed can manage to overcome the power that is Tejano.
Yo, maybe.
No, that's his strategy.
I thought the match was pretty fun, like, while it lasted. It went on for a while and it wasn't bad, which is more than I can say for a lot of matches. But then, Steven, this match is taken from already being pretty good to a whole nother level. Because guess who comes out? I'm not even going to let you guess. The Crew comes out, Steven.
Oh my
Mr.
gosh.
Cisco, Cortez Castro,
just
they're here.
Beat the shit out of Tejano.
Yeah, Tejano's going for a power bomb.
Wins.
Well, okay. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, there is a DQ finish because Tejano gets hit with a kendo stick. But it's all worth it because the crew starts stomping the shit out of Tejano, a mud hole in him, if you will. And then they look at Johnny Mundo, and Johnny Mundo's on the ground, and he's like begging off the crew because they have a history, Steven. The crew is known for hating Johnny Mundo. But then they're like, Johnny, you're cool with us. And then all three of them start beating up Tejano, stomping respective mud holes.
For everyone,
it was.
You know?
I was there.
Tejano.
And I was having the time of my life watching it. And then, Steven, guess who had to ruin the party, okay? Guess who had to ruin the party? It was Alberto Del Patron.
What the fuck, dude? You're not even part of the storyline, dude.
Not even part of the storyline. He just wants attention.
Crew.
He just wants attention, this asshole, okay? And so he comes out and he's like, I'm going to make this about me. And then he beats up the crew and Johnny Mundo single-handedly. And so that was kind of impressive.
This, dude.
Nah, me neither. Me neither. And then Tejano gets his bull rope out and he beats up Johnny Mundo with it. And then Tejano and Alberto glance at each other because these two men have just had a vicious rivalry a few months ago. And now they're on the same side. And there's some tension there between them, Steven. But then they're like, okay, we're cool now. And then that's how the segment ends with Alberto standing tall. Yeah. That's how this match should have ended. Alberto standing tall.
It's like when Cody beat Jungle Boy and then raised Jungle Boy's arm up.
Precisely.
Remember that?
Precisely. But next up, Steven, we throw it back to Dario's office because what's his name? Big Rick's not the only person he's talking to today. He is also having a sit down with one Sean Hernandez, who is appearing at the Wrestling Superstore in San Antonio, Texas this week at the Maybe Ingram Mall, where you might get shot.
One of the malls.
So, yeah, but
I don't think he's getting mugged. That guy's too tall to get mugged, dude. You see that guy? Like, oh shit, I'm not fucking that dude.
I'm saying if you're going to a meet and greet to meet Sean Hernandez, you might get shot. But that's a worthwhile risk, I think, you know? Because, imagine if you get shot and then you still make it to the meet and greet, and then you get to tell Hernandez, yo, I just took a bullet to meet you. Like, he'd probably be stoked to hear that.
I took a bullet for you, man.
Yeah, that's kind of badass. That is kind of badass. Steven, Hernandez is there in the office with Dario, and Dario tells him, Hernandez, you're going to be a very big part of Ultima Lucha, because Ultima Lucha is no longer a one-week event. Instead, it's so big, there are so many matches, that we have to spread it over the course of 2 weeks to fit in all the action.
Oh my gosh.
And I want
is that real?
Yes. This is
that
real.
Like real life canon, or?
Well, I mean, I don't know the real life canon. We'll have to ask Chris DeJoseph. I'll DM him and ask him why. Yeah. But my assumption is they realized that they booked 3 hours worth of matches for a 1 hour show, and they had the
AEW.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, man, it's going to like midnight now.
Exactly. So they split it up over a couple weeks, and he says, Hernandez, you're going to be a big part of week 1, okay? And that's kind of bullshit. Like, if I'm Hernandez, I'm pissed to hear that I'm going on week 1. You always want the week 2 spot, don't you?
No?
Why not?
Week 1's the one that people watch.
But now he knows he's not going to be the main event. Now he knows him versus Drago isn't going to main event Ultima Lucha, which has to be a bummer for him.
That
you know?
Sucks, dude.
That's my main event. That is my main event as a fan, Steven. So what the fuck?
I'm so saddened by this news, dude. That fucking Drago ain't main eventing, dude.
That is devastating. But I was happy to hear that Lucha Underground apparently has a Miller Lite sponsorship, because they show the shit out of that Miller Lite can 5 times during the segment.
It's not even like a Mexican beer or anything. It's like an American beer.
It really is. It really is. This is before they get that Modelo sponsorship. Spoilers, Steven. Yeah. And then Dario follows up like all that praise for Hernandez by saying, Hernandez, did you know the Twitter fans hate you? And then
Hernandez like, what the fuck's a Twitter?
Yeah. It's honestly. And then he said, but because you're so hated online, it gave me an idea for the gimmick for you versus Drago. I want the two of you in a Believers Backlash match.
What's a Believers Backlash match?
Well, Dario explains it. Basically, it's a lumberjack match, but instead of there being wrestlers on the outside of the ring, it's going to be believers. It's going to be fans of Lucha Underground. And all the fans are going to be...
It's going to end up so great for the wrestlers.
Yeah. And all the fans, Steven, like, because, you know, in a normal lumberjack match, the lumberjacks are there to throw you back into the ring. But the fans, they are there not to throw you into the ring. They are there armed with belts to whip you with. That is the Believers Backlash match. So
They're
it's
gonna
just
whip you, dude.
bound for success is this.
a
Which,
great
by the way,
match
this
type,
is
dude.
Hernandez's punishment for going to fucking TNA, okay? This is what he gets.
Was it
And
actually?
so, I mean, I'm
in
going to
canon?
choose to think of it that way. Sure, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if I'm a
You're
fan
just
at
gonna get
ringside,
whipped.
I'm not going to whip Drago. You know, I have too much respect for him. But Shawn
What a
Hernandez...
shitty match type for like wrestlers. Like imagine just being told, yeah, people in the crowd's gonna whip you.
Also, like,
Belts.
that works for Lucha Underground because I like the fans at Lucha Underground. I think they're all awesome, and half of them don't even care
Yeah.
about wrestling. They're just like people that are in LA. But imagine trying to do a Believers Backlash match at fucking
Like
AEW, yeah, on Dynamite. This
All
wouldn't
these
go
like
well.
neckbeards and virgins.
It'd be fucked up. It'd be fucked up. But Steven, listen
Yeah.
here, because the Believers Backlash match is gonna take place, and it'll be. I don't think they said it was the opener of next week, but I think it might be the opener of next week. So that's exciting. How pumped are you to see Drago get whipped by the fans?
What a great opening match. I mean, I feel like the opening match is pretty dope though, you know? Good for him.
I mean, yeah, if you don't go on last, you better go on first. But honestly, again, this match should have gone on last with UltimaLucha, but it's whatever. It is absolutely whatever. Yeah. But Steven, next up, we have our second match of the night. It is another pretty big one. Two big boys going at it. This is a rematch from a couple weeks ago. It is The Mac versus Cage. And of course,
Dude.
you wouldn't know it from listening to our podcast, but the Mac won the last match that these two had. And so this is the rematch. Cage is looking for some retribution. And
Cage wants revenge on his loss against the Mac.
It's
right?
true. It's true. And
Angry,
the Mac
the
still wants
machine.
revenge on getting fucking beat up and jumped by Brian Cage backstage randomly one week, you know? Which is fair. Which is very fair. And so the Mac is already in the ring when they come back from commercial break. Like, there's no entrance for him. But as soon as Vampiro lays his eyes on the Mac, he says, "The Mac looks like a bumblebee that I want to hug."
Yeah.
Because the Mac is wearing yellow
wrong,
tights.
Wrong gimmick though. That's the wrong B, okay?
Who's the
in the
bee
show.
in Lucha Underground?
bee.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Alright.
Oh my
Was it
god.
Killer
you're
Bee? Is that his name?
So right. That's
Oh,
not
something
his
Bee.
name. Killer
Famous
Bee
Bee,
sounds
that's
like a
his name.
Mexico down or a wrestler down in Mexico. I have to be honest.
Famous
but
B, that's the guy's name.
Famous Bee
He's
does make his
famous.
return later. We can't spoil it, Steven, okay? We can't spoil it.
And so the Brian
well-
Cage and the Mac, they fight, right?
They do. Also,
And
Vampiro, he says Mac looks like a bumblebee, and he says Cage looks 35 pounds fatter this week. So that's where Vampiro's
Wow,
at in his
really
headspace.
cool to hear when you're a wrestler, you know?
Yes, I would imagine. But continue, Steven. What happens during this match?
Oh yeah, the Mac just went to a roll up.
Yeah, like 5 seconds into the match, he wins.
Yeah.
It was a sunset flip roll up.
That was cool.
But then they brawl outside, the two of them. Like, they're like, Brian Cage is very unhappy, so they fight all over the place, and people are trying to break them up, and then Cage is beating up the referees and the officials, and they're brawling all over the place, okay? So, kind of crazy. But then, to break up all the madness, Steven, to finally restore order, it's none other than Dario Cueto. And Dario
Oh my
says,
goodness. I'm
Mac,
gonna take over this segment now. Fuck you
Cage,
guys.
exactly. He brings out Alberto El Patron to beat up both of them and stand tall. And it was an awesome segment, Steven. It was sick as hell. And then Dario says, Mac and Cage, you guys are going to fight at Ultima Lucha in a Falls Count Anywheres match because now I have an extra hour to fill. So, that's cool.
Pretty dope. Wait
Yeah,
for
I
that
had-
match to happen. I don't know
Why,
what Ultima
why
Lucha
wouldn't you
is.
have just put these two in the Aztec Medallion match? You could have made it a way bigger deal if, like, these two were in it. Couldn't you have? Like, get rid of fucking Bengala and Arhenis and put in Mac and Cage, you know?
You mean Miguel deserved it? He beat some dude.
He beat the Vari, I believe, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So that is
Banger.
kind of huge. That is kind of huge. So we have a whole bunch of matches to look forward to now at Ultima Lucha. Added to the mix, the Mac versus Brian Cage because of a jumping backstage. That's exciting. But Dario stays out, Steven. He makes that announcement, and then he says, when we come back from commercial, I have another announcement to make.
Gosh.
And when
And
we
then
come
commercial
back...
cuts.
It does,
And then
it does.
we're back from commercial.
Dario's in the ring now. Okay, that's big. That is huge. And
Yeah.
he says he has an announcement regarding the ancient Aztec medallions, the 7 that have been doled out to all the competitors in Lucha Underground, Steven. And he says that these 7 ancient Aztec medallions, when they are all together, they make up what he calls the gift of the gods. Okay?
What is it? What's the gift of the gods?
Well, as far as
What could
we're
it be?
aware, the gift of
Could it
the
be
gods.
shoes? Could it be a hat?
Well-
Could it be gloves?
Well, it's immortality, the gift of the gods, if
Oh,
the lore adds up correctly. But it exists in the form, Steven, not of gloves or shoes or a hat, but in that of a belt, okay?
Goodness, that's
It
crazy.
is a championship wrestling title where it has holes in it, 7 holes to be exact. And you put
What?
a medal, one of the ancient medals, into each of the holes. And once they're all, it's like the gauntlet, Steven. It's the gauntlet of the gods, the gift of the gods. Once you have all 7 medallions in there, this belt, I believe, makes you immortal, which feels like it'd be a gift of, like, enough by itself. But Dario says,
But you have to wear a belt that's like really godly, you know. And I feel like
"Oh, are you
wear
only
that.
immortal when you wear the belt?"
I assume so.
Shit, damn it.
But,
well, that's unfortunate.
Then he reveals that, hey, guess what? You can trade your belt.
You can trade
For a
literal
shot.
immortality for a shot at the title, for a shot at Prince Puma's belt.
It's like the X title in TNA.
Exactly. So, yeah, basically, Dario announces that this is the money in the bank of Lucha Underground, but you cannot cash in anywhere, anytime,
Plan
immediately.
B.
You have to give me a week in advance notice so I can promote the match, Dario
Mm-hmm.
says. So, if you ever
pretty
want a
fair,
shot
it's
at the
pretty
Lucha
fair.
Underground, it is very fair. Yeah, he's a man
It's like
who
when
wants to
WWE
make money.
spoiled that Biggie was winning the title. He's like, hey guys, make sure you watch Raw tonight. Something might happen.
Yeah, that did happen.
Ooh.
Also, that time John Cena cashed in a month early. He was like, "I want to fight you at the pay-per-view," and then he lost at the pay-per-view, joining Damian
Oh, man.
Sandow in the ranks of people who have lost the Money in the Bank match, which
Imagine
is a
being
little sad.
I mean, I feel like Cena, you could protect him, you know, by losing the briefcase.
Yeah. Also, it was karma because Damian Sandow lost to John Cena when he cashed in the briefcase, which is not cool. You know, kind of bullshit.
And now Theory's in that club. Actually, a lot of people lose the brief.
Baron Corbin's in that club too. It happens a lot when you fucking have 2 briefcases a year. It's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, just pick a men or
There
women's
hasn't been
match.
a woman who's lost yet, right? I don't think they will for a while.
I don't, because they always the women do it night of, except for Carmella. You know, every single
They're just like,
time.
oh shit, we can't have fucking 2 people with the briefcase. It'd be too
Nah, it's
confusing.
too much. It'd be too confusing. Fans at home would be so confused, you know? It's too complex. Wrestling tends to be too complex for most people, Steven, I find.
It's hard to understand. That's why I need people to explain it for me, like Brian Alvarez.
The highest art form. And so, yeah, basically, you can exchange your immortality for a shot at the Lucha Underground title with a week's notice. And Dario says he wants all 7 competitors to come out right now. And he calls them all out, Steven. It's Jack Evans, it's Aerostar, it's King Cuerno, it's the Mighty Bengala, because apparently that's his full name. It's not Bengala, it's the Mighty Bengala, which is badass,
Yeah.
okay?
The Bengala, okay.
The Mighty
your mouth.
Bengala. Why? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Then who else is in the match? I'll shut my mouth.
Sexy
Who
Star
else? Oh? And?
was there.
And?
And that's it. Is that it?
Big Rick! Big Rick was there
Big
too,
Rick.
Steven.
Well, he was
God.
last. The crowd doesn't know, right? So they saw these people. They saw one that's the medal in the prior weeks and months.
They've
Big
seen
Rick
everyone
comes
else
out.
win their medals except for
Yeah.
Big Rick. They're like, why the
And then
fuck does
Crown's
he
like,
have
oh yeah,
one?
Big Rick's also here now, guys. Isn't that sick?
Can I ask a question? If Davari wanted a medal so bad that he fought Bengala for it, why didn't he just pay Dario for a medal?
Oh.
I feel like it's a valid question. You know?
Maybe he's
I
just
think
too.
so.
Maybe he's too rich. You know, the boss.
Do you think maybe
Maybe the boss is too rich.
Davari's dad put like a cap on his money? You know? Like maybe he's
Oof,
reining
maybe.
things in? That could be tough. That could be tough.
It could be
But-
a possibility.
Where is Rey Fenix, Steven? Rey Fenix won the first ancient Aztec medallion, and he is nowhere to be found. Where is he?
Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he?
Where
Where is he?
is he?
Well, we don't
then,
know.
Then he walks out. A
Well-
t-shirt on.
He does. So everyone puts their medals inside the holes in the belt. And then Dario's like, thanks, guys. You can go home. And then Rey Fenix shows up with a t-shirt on. This is the insecure era of Rey Fenix. He doesn't want to show his tummy anymore. And he comes out with his medal. And Dario's like, oh, too little, too late, Phoenix. Sorry, tough. I already in my head, I booked a battle royal for your medal because you weren't here. So you're going to have to fight and win it again if you want a spot in this match.
Yeah, what were you doing last night, Rey Fenix, huh?
Because it's weird. It's weird because Dario's like, Rey Fenix was beaten so bad by Mil Muertes months ago, okay, that he can't come out here tonight to put his hole in the belt or fill his hole in the belt. But then he's there anyways, and then he has to fight. There's a battle royal impromptu, Steven. It's very weird, but basically Rey Fenix is going to have to go through like 10 other guys to keep his medal and make his way to Ultima Lucha. And would you like to know who these 10 other guys are that he's fighting in a battle royal?
Who are these 10 other dudes? Who are they?
These 10 other guys include Killshot. Okay?
Makes sense.
That's a big name. It's a big name. It includes...
Not really.
I mean, what would you... comparatively, Steven, the other guys in this match are as follows. Superfly, Davari, Famous B, Vinny Massaro, Argenis, and Ricky Mandel. This is legitimately all the people Pentagon Jr. have beaten up. Okay? Like, this is
they
this
are
match.
recovered, you know?
They have all recovered for this battle royal. They're just in time for PenUltima Lucha. And then, finally, the last competitor in the match comes out. The only one to get a real entrance. It is Marty the Moth Martinez, Steven.
He's ready.
He is. He is ready to claim his Aztec medallion, even though it's not the Moth one. And basically, all the scrubs are eliminated from this match really quickly. It's an over-the-top battle royal, except the last two people in the ring you have to beat by pinfall or submission. So it's all over the top, and then you can only win by pinfall or submission, which is like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. And so all the scrubs are gone. Killshot's the only like non-scrub who gets eliminated really early, but that's only because he was an idiot and he climbed the top rope and got shoved off.
Which makes him a scrub.
Like, it does kind of make him a scrub in my eyes, because now he's not on the Ultima Lucha card, okay? So that's kind of tough. And basically, the final four end up being Rey Fenix, Marty the Moth, Sean Daivari, and fucking Famous B's in the final four, Steven. Okay?
My boy Famous B. Baby.
Our boy Famous B.
Our boy.
Is in the final four, okay? And, well, then he's eliminated, so.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's tough.
Poor guy.
And then Davari is eliminated by Phoenix. And then we have our final two in the Battle Royal. Who is going to make it to Ultima Lucha? Is it Marty the Moth? Is it Rey Fenix? Who will become immortal? Well, again, with the caveat that Phoenix is already immortal. Basically, this match ends really weird, Steven. Rey Fenix leaps on the Marty the Moth, going for like a weird move. Like maybe like a head scissors or some shit. Marty the Moth reverses it into like a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, right? But then they lose their footing or grip, and Marty drops Phoenix like they botched the move, but Phoenix is able to transition the botch into a roll-up, and then he just wins. So I don't know if it was an intentional botch or what. What say you?
I hope they report this next week on the pay-per-view. Yo, why did this happen? I deserve to be in this match. Me and the Moth.
What?
All part of the story. I think the Moth's gonna say
interfere.
This is part of the
you think
story.
He's gonna interfere in the sacred ancient Aztec medallion match?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I hope not.
Why this happened, dude?
Yeah.
I deserve the win.
I mean, how did he deserve to win? He botched the move. That feels like you would not deserve a win if that happened.
It's like when you forget to kick out of a pin, you know? Like the most dangerous thing ever in wrestling.
I understand. That makes sense. Well, basically,
I don't know.
The whole past 15 minutes were useless because Rey Fenix just he kept his medal. He's gonna be in the match. He puts it in the hole. Dario looks on angrily, and there we go, Steven. The 7 Ancient Aztec Medallion match is set for Ultima Lucha. Who is your prediction to win?
Cuerno.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet.
I feel like they're like putting a lot of spotlight on like Rey Fenix, right? Because of being all the attention.
I guess, but they've been doing that the whole season. Dude had a rivalry with Mil Muertes. Was fucking Katrina for a little bit, you know, kind of crazy. Kind of wild time for Phoenix. But no, if I have to look at those 7 competitors and I have to pick a winner, I'm going Mighty Bengala or Jack Evans all the way, personally. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, I think Bengala can do it. Is it like a ladder match or is it like a
I don't
pinfall
really
match?
know. Probably a ladder match, but we'll find out. Oh, also, Steven, did you see at the end when Rey Fenix is given back his ancient Aztec medallion? He also gets a red napkin. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Which you have to wonder if this
That's
is
the
the
medallion.
same red napkin, you know?
You think they're just reusing props at this point?
Well, that might legitimately be them reusing the red napkin that Katrina uses, but what if it's in storyline? What if Katrina placed it there to do mind games on Rey Fenix?
Oh, maybe like it's not a red napkin to everyone. Maybe in the crowd they see like a blue napkin, you know, or a white
Ooh,
napkin.
shit,
And then
you're
Ray sees a
right.
red one because he's been cursed.
Yeah, it's like how
with,
sometimes we'll see a
Mills'
segment
cursiness.
backstage. Yeah, we'll see a segment backstage like Big Rick getting the medal, and then we'll cut to the ring, and Matt Striker's like, I don't know why Big Rick has a medal, but you know,
Where'd
it's
he get
kind
the
of like
medal
that.
from?
Yeah, I like
come
when that
from?
happens. That's always fun. But Steven, the night is not over because we have one more segment, which feels kind of last minute, and this feels like a segment that should have been promoted for months, okay? Because we cut the commentary, and Matt Striker and Vampiro say, for the first time ever, when we come back, Prince Puma is gonna talk. And that is
Crazy.
legitimately the teaser, Steven. That Prince Puma's gonna talk for the first time ever. And
But he
I
can't
lost
speak.
it.
He's like mute. He's like,
This is so
That-
fucked up. Like,
it's
Dario
something like
booked the
that.
segment knowing he's
Yeah.
gonna disappoint the fans, okay? The least he could do is get a voice box, okay? For poor Prince Puma. But
let him
no.
have a text to speech, you know? Let him type on his
And
phone.
They keep being really weird about Conan. It's like saying ominous stuff like, oh, Conan's gone. Conan's no longer here. And so I have to wonder, was Conan murdered last week? Was that a murder
he
that
got
we
kidnapped.
witnessed? Well, he got hit in the head with a rock and then kidnapped, which
He's been concussed.
you have to
All
wonder.
that blood trauma, dude, in his head.
You have to. You're saying they hemorrhaged his brain, Katrina,
Yeah,
with
he's
the rock.
gone.
He is. Yeah, if
fucking
there was a
deceased,
hemorrhage, that
dude.
man is unfortunately passed away.
Hit him in the vein, dude.
Oh no, not the head vein. That's the worst one. And so, commentary's acting like this is a big deal that Prince Puma's gonna talk, and they're right. It is a big deal, but why are we just now learning about it? Right? Like, this should have been promoted forever ago. And then it's even bigger of a deal because Melissa announces Prince Puma, and then he comes out to the ring, and Prince Puma's already wearing his pay-per-view whites, okay? He's already
can't
wearing
do
his
that.
special Ultima Lucha gear, which is
You
technically
can wear the
black
white
and red.
gear.
Well, it's black and red, I guess.
Vince hates that, apparently. I don't know if
Oh,
that's true
no.
or not. I read
That's
that once.
sad. Did you hate Prince Puma's orange zip-up hoodie that he was wearing?
Dude, it looks
'Cause
cool. What are you talking about?
I thought he looked cool too. I'm gonna be honest.
Awesome,
An
man.
orange zip-up is a big risk, but Trevor pulled it off. Okay, he really did.
I mean, it's not hard to pull off clothes of like Trevor's body, you know. I feel like.
but his
the
clothes
athletic
cover
man.
his body, which is the tough part. You know?
Maybe he has like one of the ab window ones. You know, like the jackets that are just like shoulders
Oh,
and then like
shit,
there's an ab
Tony
window.
Nese style. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You know how
Fucking sick.
Candice LeRae used to wear like the chest window gear, like it was Buzz Lightyear, but it had like see-through for her cleavage. What if
For her
Trevor
tits, yeah.
had that for his abs? Okay, just see-through.
Ooh, how
for
about
his
this gimmick?
abs.
It's
Yeah.
this is called the Titty Master gimmick, right? Where they show his
Oh, shit.
nipples, like see-through nipples through his
Ooh,
jacket.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's exciting. Because I'm picturing like Mustafa Ali, like classic Mustafa Ali gear, but it has like clear fabric over the nipples and then also the six-pack. Because that would be exciting. That would be
Ooh.
enticing.
Ooh, he's
That
not that cool
should
gear
be-
anymore.
That
Guy
should
lost
be
is like his gimmick.
when Slapjack comes back and joins the Maximum Male Models. He has to be wearing that, Steven. Okay, it's the only way. It is the
Slapjack.
only
What's
way.
Slapjack's gimmick? What would Slapjack's name be again? Saphake?
Yeah, that. I think that's
Slapjack?
what we landed on. I think so.
Saphake.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
can't wait for that personally. They're probably saving that for the Rumble or maybe Mania. So we have that to look forward to, maybe even in person at the Royal Rumble, Steven. That is so exciting.
Ooh. We're excited
I
to
know.
see who will win the Rumble. You think Sammy's winning the Rumble? You think Sammy's gonna win the title?
No.
Yeah, that's the rumor right
Obviously,
now.
Sami Zayn is not winning the title. That's the dumbest shit ever.
Is Sami allowed to? He can't go to Saudi Arabia, right, for shows?
Well, yeah, that'd be a tough one for one.
Yeah.
Because if he went over to Saudi Arabia, the champion of the company would be murdered upon arrival, which is a little tough. But also, too, he's not gonna be their champion, guys. He's just not. Maybe he'll be tag team champion. He's not gonna dethrone
Roman?
Like, you know the Daniel Bryan storyline of, like, he's just a B+ player, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's Sami Zayn, but real life. Yeah, which is a little sad.
I mean, Daniel Bryan, you can kind of get up behind, you know? I feel like...
Yeah.
I think the one thing that really limits Sami Zayn is the fact that he cannot go to Saudi Arabia.
He can't go to Saudi, and he also looks crazy, okay? That man looks wild, which I love personally. I think he's amazing.
Look,
but like,
I think his look right now looks so much cooler than his NXT look, where he's just like generic vanilla midget man.
Oh my god, it's way cooler. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I saw a clip the other day of Sami Zayn fighting Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and I had no fucking clue what I was watching.
That was a match.
Like, when did this happen? Yeah, apparently. Well, they fought twice at WrestleMania. They fought once in the tag team match that was Daniel Bryan's return to wrestling. Remember when it was Shane and Daniel versus KO and Sammy? I forgot that happened, okay? But then also, COVID WrestleMania, it was Conspiracy Sammy versus Daniel Bryan with Drew Gulak, which is like kind of wild. Yeah.
That sounds like a fucking Triple H booking right there, dude.
It really does. I don't know what was going on during COVID, Steven. I truly don't. I know Roman Reigns dropped out of WrestleMania like the day before, which is kind of crazy.
That's fair.
I think so. So, Prince Puma is gonna talk, is the point. And he comes out with his big black and red mask, his orange zip-up hoodie, and before he can even talk on the microphone, Steven, or attempt to, it'll just be some wheezing, because again, he is a mute. Katrina comes out with Mil Muertes, of course, the opponent for Ultima Lucha. But Steven, this is the coolest Mil Muertes has ever looked as he comes out in like a 4-piece suit, okay? It is
in black.
Wild. 8-piece suit? Is it 4-piece or 8-piece suit? I don't really know.
Well, he has
whatever the fancy suit
of
is.
His mask.
A piece of his mask?
No.
Oh, that is maybe a 9 or a 5-piece suit. One of those. And he is looking so sick, Steven. They should put this on a t-shirt. Okay, Mil Muertes in the suit. It'd be awesome. And basically, they're there to, I guess, fuck with Prince Puma, make him nervous to talk. I don't really know what's happening.
Intimidate him.
I guess.
Advertise the next pay-per-view show.
Up from behind, Steven, come Barrio Negro, Sinestro de la Muerte, and...
Oh my gosh, Phil!
The CM Punk is alive in the temple.
Holy shit.
Attacking Prince Puma.
The ghost of CM Punk.
The ghost of CM Punk is here in Lucha Underground.
Oh my gosh, you know what we're close to? We're close to a year that one Reddit post like, the ghost of Vince McMahon's past.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Some guy made like a fucking like 500 paragraph like essay about how Vince McMahon's like Scrooge from like what's that one movie Christmas called?
The Nightmare
Christmas
Before. No, the
Christmas
24
Carol?
Christmases.
Christmas
Oh yeah,
Story?
that one. Yeah.
That one. And he's like, first it was Luke Harper getting away and Vince will regret that, and then it was Daniel Bryan and he will also regret that. It's like okay,
Steven,
dude.
You are gonna have, but no, you know what's devastating? Is that it probably happened during the Lucha Underground off season, because we only have 2 more episodes, and then we go away for like 6 months or a year. I know, it's wild. That's so sad.
What are we gonna do for those 6 months or a year? No,
you know, we can.
I don't have to cancel the podcast.
Yeah, well, I think we should just like in the time we would usually spend recording the podcast, let's just hang out and watch Psych together. You know, I think that's what we should do. Just binge Psych.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a plan. But Steven, the Disciples of Death are here and they beat down Prince Puma, okay? But then Prince Puma just fucks up all of them, including CM Punk. He hits the buckshot lariat on him. It was crazy. And then
down. It was crazy development, dude.
It was. Mil Muertes comes out to the ring. Mil Muertes says, "Nobody puts their hands on my Phil." and then he fucks up Prince Puma, but then he doesn't. Prince Puma fucks up Mil Muertes too and hits the 630 on him. And then he stares like longingly at Katrina, which is a little weird. But this is not good news for Prince Puma. The fact that Prince Puma is standing tall over 4 men in the Go Home show is not good news. Prince Puma is surely losing his title to Mil Muertes, isn't he?
Think?
Well,
he
like,
is?
he beat the fuck out of Mil Muertes
era?
right here. He beat the shit out of Mil Muertes.
You think making your champion look strong means it's a sign of them losing?
Well, when you make them look strong at the expense of their opponent who you've been building up for the past year, I do worry a little bit. Like, if this were in the reverse and Mil Muertes were the champion and he fucked up Puma right before the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
I'd be really happy right now because I think, oh my god, Puma's gonna win the title. But
Yeah, Puma's
this is
jobbing
not.
gonna happen.
Oh shit, you think
Yeah,
so?
2-second match.
That'd be pretty fun. Shades of the Mac and Brian Cage. He'll win with a sunset
Roll-up.
flip,
Roll-up
roll
pin.
up. Mil Muertes,
Yeah.
damn, that's awesome. That's not even Goldberg style. We're doing it the Mac style. Wow.
Max style, baby.
Let's go. That's awesome. So, Steven, that is
Yeah.
this episode of Lucha Underground, Penultima Lucha from July 22nd of 2015. What are your thoughts and takeaways?
Not much lore in this episode. A lot of fighting, which I'm not a fan of. I hate
Not
fighting. I'm a
much
pacifist.
lore. Bite your tongue, okay? Big Rick is on his path to becoming immortal, okay?
And?
Sean Hernandez is about to do a signing at a mall in San Antonio. And
That's not even, like, this lore. That's real life.
Phil Brooks has just debuted in Lucha Underground. So that is like
That was
a
pretty
lot. That was pretty cool. So, Steven, what are you talking about? Also, Ray Phoenix is back after being beat up, so that's kind of cool too.
Leads up into the last stand of the pay-per-view. Final.
One night
Confrontation.
only, taking place
Two
over
nights.
2 nights. Yeah, I think so.
Was that popular?
Hell yeah. So, yeah, are you interested to learn what else happened during the week of July 22nd of 2015, Steven?
Yes, I am.
Well, then
In
let's
fact.
go ahead and do it. Steven, I know I just said it seconds ago, but do you know what week in wrestling we are going to recap right now?
We are in July 21st.
Oh, Steven, we are
The
in
22nd?
July 22nd,
Dang it.
unfortunately for you. I know, it's
Unfortunate.
tough. But I want to have a bit of similarity to last week's Week Of segment for July 15th of 2015, Steven, because we started off that segment with big news that Bully Ray is now the authority figure in Total Nonstop Action in Impact Wrestling. And I know you were personally
Wow.
excited by that, right?
Awesome news, dude.
Would you like an update on that story?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, if you had to guess what my update is, Steven, what do you think happened with Bully Ray being the authority figure of TNA?
He's now a champion.
That's a very, very good guess. That is, if Eric
Uh-huh.
Bischoff were the new man in charge, or Jeff Jarrett was the new man in charge, that would be a very good guess. However, the actual news, Steven, is that TNA never signed Bully Ray to a contract before making him
What? Is
the
this
authority
real life
figure.
lore or like fake
This
life
is
lore?
real life lore. They never signed him to an actual contract.
Oh my
He
gosh,
was
how?
showing up for them on a per appearance basis. And he is now informed Total Nonstop Action. He is leaving the company and intends not to return. And as we know, as you know, stepping outside of the lore of TNA, he does return to WWE within a couple months. So this is a little
That's
tough.
pretty good. And
This
then
is a
like
little
the same thing
tough.
happens again where he leaves after a couple of months and goes back.
He does
to
do
TNA.
that too. But very funny, he is the authority figure for less than 7 days.
I mean,
And then leaves the company.
not as long as William Regal,
I mean,
Just saying.
what do you?
Just
I
saying.
don't even know what that means. Definitely not as long as William Regal. He was there for like a fraction of how long William Regal was with AEW.
Just saying. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
No, you are just saying. You are just saying. Also, Steven, Bully Ray's not the only one done with a certain wrestling program, because Mick Foley took to his Facebook page to announce that he is done with Tough Enough.
What?
And you might be thinking, I don't remember Mick
this
Foley
season of
being on
Tough
Tough Enough. I don't remember Mick Foley being on 2015's Tough Enough, where Josh Briggs and Sarah Lee won. You know, like that doesn't ring a bell. And you'd be right if that's what your mind is thinking, because Mick Foley was simply a fan watching on his couch, and he decided to get online and say, I am done watching Tough Enough.
He's that fan.
He is upset. He is infuriated. And do you know why he is infuriated?
Was it because of Sarah Lee being called like a ring rat? Was that why?
That is not why. He is not upset with Sarah Lee being called the ring rat. Mick Foley is upset that Patrick Clark was eliminated from the show. I know.
That's so sad.
And don't get me wrong, as a 14-year-old, I too was upset that Patrick Clark was eliminated from Tough Enough in 2015. But I still watched the show. Mick Foley says he will no longer be doing that, and it was a mistake.
No longer watch the show ever.
And it was a mistake for anyone to think that it was a wrestling show, when in reality,
I mean, it's not a wrestling show.
Well, yeah, that's what Mick Foley learned this week. Unfortunately for him.
Where's the wrestling in that show? You know,
a little hard to stomach.
One of the challenges was swimming, and Patrick Clark can't swim. He said.
It's so sad. Do you think he's able to swim now?
I don't know.
Oh,
Poor guy.
man,
How did he
so
beat that
tough.
challenge? He didn't swim.
He probably didn't. He probably just like timed out. Got a DQ. You know.
Oh man, poor guy.
Damn.
There was a shark in that water
is
that
pretty
they swim
sad.
in. Is that a swamp?
But that's not our only Tough Enough news, Steven, okay? Because days after Patrick Clark is eliminated, another person is eliminated from Tough Enough, okay? And it's a little weird because usually this is a week-to-week show. One person's eliminated every week on Tough Enough. But this just happened out of the middle of nowhere. This is like midway through the week. There's not even a new episode of Tough Enough. And already the cast is changing because, well, unfortunately, one of the judges has been removed by the USA Network. Hulk Hogan is no longer allowed on Tough Enough.
Not my brother.
For some inflammatory remarks that were released by, I believe, the Inquirer from some leaked court documents. In his lawsuit.
Back yet?
He showed up at WrestleMania with Titus O'Neil that one time, if you remember. So Hulkster has made amends.
I heard he has like apologized to like every black like wrestler in the roster.
I have heard the same
when he shows up.
I have heard the same, but I also at the time
Which
I never
honestly sounds quite like kind of weird if you think about it. You know. Like, apologize to every black person on the team.
I'd say and I don't know what actually happened, but I say maybe the move is you get the entire locker room together, regardless of race. You apologize to all of them together, and then you have one-on-ones with each person, like actually affected by it, like all the black wrestlers, which might have been what happened. We don't know.
Might have been all of them, you know. We don't know.
It would have been really weird if they called a black-only meeting, and it was just Hulk Hogan waiting for them in a room.
That's like oh my god, Cody thing that's like Cody doing AEW, dude. It's a fucking Cody thing right there.
That's so messed up. That's so messed up. But basically, at the time, I didn't realize the extent of the comments, because this is back when Hulk Hogan was racist, was discovered to be racist. And
He's
was
still
kicked
racist.
Off. Well, yeah, and also I have the official statement from WrestlingInc.com if you'd want it, Steven.
My favorite source.
Quote, WWE has removed Hulk Hogan as a judge on Tough Enough and is erasing almost all mentions of him from their website after learning of an interview where Hogan launched into a, quote, racial tirade. And this just shows...
crazy that they removed him from, like, everything, because he's so, like, big, you know?
But this just shows the journalistic acumen of Wrestling Inc. and Wrestling News Blog Lady, because they say it's an interview. Steven, I don't know what interviews you've watched before, but I personally have never seen one where the camera is focused in the corner of a bedroom in black and white as Hulk Hogan sits naked on the side of the bed with a woman next to him. It's just a weird interview, you know?
It's a kinky interview, dude.
A little bit. A
talk show interview right here, dude.
And so it goes on.
Wait, they're talking about the leaked video as an interview where he just like saying racist remarks to his daughter or whatever.
They refer to it as an interview. as Hulk Hogan is recorded without his consent or knowledge as he's naked with the wife of Bubba the Love Sponge. 2015 was a wild time, Steven. And it says Hogan...
I thought he was like into that Bubba the Love Sponge.
Hogan, he was into it. Hogan is no longer listed as a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. His superstar bio and merchandise have been removed. Huh?
Is he still like not part of
No,
that?
again, he is back, man. He's back.
Oh, okay.
Ric Flair's even back, okay? That was way more recent.
Ric Flair.
I mean, not really. But what's maybe most devastating about all of this, Steven, is the last part of this memo. It says, all references to current WWE superstar Curtis Axel have been removed as well. Which is just really sad. Really sad news for that man.
What is he doing, man? What's his gimmick?
This is the Axelmania gimmick, man. He's gone.
It's like the fucking NBA player who got like, no, that WNBA player who got traded for like guns, you know?
No.
They just traded their career.
I believe Curtis Axel doesn't resurface until a random Raw hailing from San Antonio, where he debuts as 1/5 of the oh my god, they're called the Social Outcasts. Do you remember them, Steven? Hell yeah. Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, and then the B Team years later. Go, go, go. Of course, of course.
Go, go, go.
Did they ever make B Team action figures? Because I really
think
hope
they did.
so.
Yeah, they won the title, so I assume so.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But Steven, that is the state of Hulk Hogan. All references removed because, and as a 15-year-old, I didn't realize how like horrible the shit he said was. I thought what it was is he said the N-word once, right? And I had no other context, which that's bad, right? Everything justified.
He said the N-word once, dude, okay? He just said it once.
Well, like, that's what I just, in my head, that's what I assumed it was. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's fucked up. And then he was removed from everything. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But when I went through and did the research for the current, or the week of this week, holy shit, is that man racist, okay?
Are you about to, like, refute what he said?
I will probably refrain from reading it all, but, like, he uses the word so many times. So many times. Yes, that's the one. The N-bomb. He drops it a lot.
With a hard R? Or?
Oh, many times with the hard R, Steven. I don't think once with a soft R, which is really unfortunate news for the Hulkster. Sorry, for the Hulkster. And so...
the Hulkster, baby.
He says at one point...
That's gotta be some joke in AEW. That's gonna happen. Fucking AEW one day when Hulk Hogan's there.
You think so? MJF is gonna call him that?
Like, do the MJF or fucking like one of the Acclaimed be like, yo, Hulkster, forgot the R.
Damn, no, you're right.
Yo,
you're right.
Hulkster, forgot the R.
Oh, that'll be Max Caster, actually. You're right, you're right.
Yeah.
But he said apparently that, quote, everyone is a little racist, and that he himself is a racist.
He's the victim here.
Effing, and then that word. That is all said in sequence, Steven, which is a little wild. And then he says it many more times in reference to the fact that his daughter is in fact having sexual relations, maybe, with a black guy.
A black man, I know.
Yes.
And you know the other day? I know that Bill Gates' daughter isn't the same thing. Really, Bill Gates' daughter is also dating a black man. People are like getting super mad about it.
Oh. Why are they mad that Bill Gates' daughter is dating a black man?
I don't know. Maybe it's because she's like very attractive and they're just jealous.
They're just jealous? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is Bill Gates' daughter really attractive? I've never seen Bill Gates' daughter before.
Yeah, she's like a model.
I can't... But Bill Gates is not a handsome guy, is he?
You haven't seen the photos of Bill Gates back then, dude, with the computer where he's like laying on it.
When he was young, he was handsome?
No, he's just a really geeky dude, just like on his computer looking all weird and awkward.
That's so sad. That's so sad. But yeah, rest in peace, Curtis Axel. You hate to see it happen to a good one like him.
It kill his career, huh?
I mean, I don't know where the career was going otherwise, but like, come on now. He did okay for himself. I think he's a producer now for WWE. That's about what you could hope for when you're Curtis Axel. Yeah. Yeah, wow. I believe so.
Good for Curtis, dude.
But then there was all sorts of speculation about who is going to replace Hulk Hogan on Tough Enough, Steven. Do you remember who like the biggest rumored names were at the time?
The Rock.
No, not The Rock. The Rock, I think, was maybe a little busy at the time in 2015.
How? What was he doing, huh? Filming what?
Well, the Tooth Fairy was, I believe, 6 years prior, so that's a good point. Maybe he wasn't as busy.
What was he feeling? Moana?
To be. Ooh, it might have been around the time of voice acting for Moana and singing "You're Welcome." That's a very good call, Steven. Was Fast and the Furious going on back then? He was probably in that. Yeah, I think
he's
so.
like the mainstay right after like the 20th movie, like that. I don't know. I never seen them.
Well, I think he's the mainstay in the offshoot. You know, like he's the mainstay in Hobbs and Shaw, where they put.
Oh yeah,
Leaky
that really
in
shitty
it,
movie they
which is
made.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
Leaky's in that.
Leaky's in Hobbs and Shaw. Or Sean Hobbs.
Shit, we're gonna watch that now then.
Oh fuck! I think Leaky's only in it for like a second though, but I'm down to watch it if we have to.
Man, this stinks. I wish Leo Rush was in Power Rangers. We gotta watch that. We can't.
Should we DM Leo Rush and tell him we really want to see him in Power Rangers? Like, maybe he should reconsider.
Yeah. Honestly, apparently he was like super like bummed out that he couldn't be in Power Rangers. Like according to him, he's like, oh man. I mean, honestly, if I had a chance to be in Power Rangers, that show I watched as a kid, you know, as a bad guy, I'd be pretty.
That would be kind of cool. Steven, if you ever meet Leo Rush, please have him sign a Power Rangers action figure. That'd be sick as hell. You know? Yeah. Just like say you were going through his IMDb and you saw it there, and so you wanted to sign your figure.
I saw you were in Power Rangers once. I didn't have any of your toys, so I had to buy one from Target.
It's just a Red Ranger. That's so unfortunate. Yeah. But Steven, the two people that are speculated to be replacing Hulk Hogan are Ric Flair, you know, someone who has no problematic history.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Well, like, honestly though, like, think about it. If Hulk Hogan just did that, and upset an entire community, and rightfully so, and even beyond that, the community, right? And then you have Ric Flair, who is universally beloved by that same community that Hulk Hogan has just offended,
but not women,
you know? Well, you know, women. The good thing about this, Steven, women don't watch wrestling by and large.
That's true. They only watch divas, which makes them get into wrestling. Like,
but does that mean are they watching Tough Enough though? Are they watching Tough Enough?
Are they?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Watching Tough Enough?
I don't know. But what's kind of crazy is you always hear like the demographics are skewed. Women don't watch wrestling. But then, like, I went to Dynamite this week, and maybe it's just because it's live and people get dragged there as like couples and everything. But like I feel like 40% of the crowd at least is female, which is like kind of wild. I don't get it, Steven.
Dang.
I don't get it at all.
Maybe gender norms in society are just bullshit, you know, and we're just.
Is that a gender norm? Men watch pro wrestling. Real men watch fake fighting.
Real virgins watch wrestling. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Although I feel like a WWE event have more women, right, and children in it than an AEW event.
Well, I would say they have more girls because they're gonna have like little kids, you know. Whereas AEW, I did not see many kids at that.
It's more like a family show, right? Like, hey guys, WWE's in town. I watched WWE as a kid. My dad watched as a kid, right? I'm gonna go watch it.
Like as much
as
like
Austin Theory, it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Precisely. But like if you go to an AEW show and you have like a 10-year-old with you, it's really hard to explain the scisoring and daddy ass. You know, like really hard. Like that's hard to explain to an adult about why that's entertaining.
Maybe this is why wrestling is PG. No.
Maybe so.
Have you seen the arguments about like what's it called? AEW not needing to explain who people are, and that's your job to like look up who they are. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's a shitty argument because, like, how else are people supposed to debut? Like,
yeah,
you know, like, what do you want a video package before a surprise? Because I feel like that's
Triple H legit just fucking does that. No one says anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Tegan Knox? You know?
Who the fuck is Tegan Knox? Who the fuck is Io Sky? You know, these are all very. Who the fuck is B-Fab? If we're being honest, Steven. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. How Hit Row as a job is crazy. Yeah.
Dude, Hit Row isn't like, I don't know. Do people actually cheer for all these like new guys? I feel like they're getting pushed a lot. All these new people.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right. I think LA Knight is getting like the Bray Wyatt job eventually. Pretty exciting for him.
The Bray Wyatt job?
Yeah, he's gonna job to Bray Wyatt.
Oh, he's gonna job to Bray. I don't know. I could see
your first rivalry being against Bray.
That's
suck, dude.
It could go it could be really good, but it'll be really good up until the match, you know?
Yeah.
That's really the situation.
I think right now the story is just he gets beats up by Bray Wyatt backstage.
I think it kind of works for Eli because he's not that good of a wrestler. He's like kind of boring, you know?
What? You ever seen Eli
LA
Drake
Knight-
versus
Not that good.
Magnus?
I also saw him versus Brian Cage, and that was like,
Wow.
it was boring, man. Like, and Cage
What?
is a good wrestler.
Because you want watching 2 times speed, that's why.
Oh shit.
Not
Well, I
watching
was
it.
in person. It'd be really hard to watch that 2 times speed, man.
Mm.
Yeah, just screaming at the wrestlers to make the match go by quicker, just to finish.
I mean,
to wrap it up.
I don't know. I
Damn.
feel bad. I feel bad for all the kids and women and men who are relapse fans watching Johnny Gargano come out. It's like, who the fuck is this dude? Like,
And he
3
doesn't even
times
have
a
cool
night.
music anymore, too. Yeah, that is
Right?
kinda fucked.
That's the one thing he had, and they got rid of it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But Ric Flair is one of the options that people are speculating to replace Hulk on Tough Enough, and the other
Yeah.
is Bret the Hitman Hart, Steven, okay? Do you remember
That's
who the
crazy.
actual replacement was?
Wasn't the Miz? Because he was just on the show already.
It was Mike the Miz Mizanin. And
I
then
mean, it
Byron
makes sense.
Saxton
I feel like it's the better
replaced him.
choice. And I feel like he's the
So-
better choice, anyways. You know. Out of-
Yeah, he was already part of the
Dude,
show,
rumored.
watching the show. I loved him. That was
Like, does Brett really care about Tough Enough? You know, like, why the fuck does he care?
Exactly.
Hmm,
They should have got
dude,
Mick
he's bitter.
Foley to come in, okay? Mick Foley comes in, he brings back Patrick with him. Let's go.
Rich me. I thought he hated it. I thought he left the show forever because of Patrick leaving.
Well, I remember always being very impressed afterwards, because again, the timing of that, of Patrick Clark's eliminated, and then it comes out Hulk Hogan's like a massive racist. I always
You
expected
think
there to be
Patrick
an
was
interview.
the one who leaked Hulk Hogan's?
Well, no, I always expected there to be an interview though,
Like
of someone
say-
asking Patrick Clark, like, "Hey, do you think you were eliminated because you're black?" And that never happened. Like, Patrick Clark never like said anything like disparaging. Patrick Clark was like very like, you know, and it was smart
He
for him
ain't
'cause
ACH.
dude got hired, so you know it worked out for him. But shit,
He wasn't. Who was it? Is it Jordan Miles or whatever?
Jordan, that's Steven. Don't say slave names on this podcast, okay?
I'm sorry.
God, shut up.
ACH.
Thank you.
Remember when ACH won like the breakout tournament and then lost the title match after that?
I do remember that the
Must
North American
suck,
title
dude.
match.
That must
Little
suck so much. Winning the super title like contenders match and losing that title match.
A little bit. And where is he now? Is he in New Japan maybe? Like under that black tiger mask? Potentially?
That him?
I don't really know what he's doing. I mean, that was
I thought,
him for a
I thought he was
while.
gonna retire from wrestling. That's not the thing he said.
Yeah, but then he came back and I don't
Probably because
know.
they realized I don't have a resume outside of wrestling.
I just feel bad because I think it legitimately was just like he had a break in his mental health and he really burned
Yeah, you
a
think
lot
he
of
had
bridges.
psychosis?
I mean, it seems that way because he's since been like a kind of public on social media and he's been like, oh shit, I was in a really dark place back then, and now he's like, you know, not there, which is I think good, but kind of fucked everything up for him. A little sad. And then you have guys like Leo Rush who just fuck up everything regardless. You know, that's just his personality constantly, which is kind of
I love
funny.
Leo Rush so much.
I
I
do
fucking cloud
too.
emoji.
Because
I don't know. I
I've
feel
told
like
you
our
before.
wrestler, I would be like Leo Rush personality wise, or like Mansoir. Backstage, everyone just like thinks you're annoying little shit.
Let's go. Yeah.
Have you
me
seen that
too.
like video on like Up Up Down Down where he plays Beyblades?
No.
Every time he's on Up Up Down Down, he's like the most annoying shit ever. And like when like 2 people are like laughing at it, everyone else just looks kind of like annoyed at him, like dead eyeing him, like what the
No.
fuck's this kid saying, dude?
He seems like a guy who thinks he's smarter than everyone else in the room. You know?
He is though. He's valedictorian.
Oh, in high school. No,
was
you're
high
so
school.
right. You're so right.
Yeah.
No. And he pursued his education and that of indie wrestling, for
Wrestling.
the next 10 years. Yeah.
I
that's
mean, he's
very
making
good.
bank now, so like who's the one winning, you know?
How much do you think Mansoir makes a year?
More than us together.
I would assume it's less than 6 figures.
Yeah?
You know?
Maybe he's really smart with his money and like he invests into like house and real estate agents.
Because I would say this, Steven. For Mansoir valedictorian, Mansoir very capable person. If he had gone into a field that is, you know, more typical of making more money, he becomes a doctor, you know. He's going to be looking at least, the very least, a high, like, kind of high 6-figure salary, right? Like, probably over 200K. So, do you think Mansoir will ever achieve a level of success in WWE where he's going to be
Yes.
sustainably making over 200K a year?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, fair enough. My argument is kind of moot then. I'm sorry. And so
He's awesome. You're just
yeah.
jealous, dude.
No, I love Mansoir. Don't get me wrong.
You're just jealous of Mansoir, dude.
I don't know if I'd be able to hang out with him. You know, I worry.
What do you mean?
But he was fun. I really liked him when he did he did a tournament. He commentated a tournament with New Legacy Inc. one time, and he was really, really funny on that. So you know what? Maybe it's all okay.
Maybe you're just a hater, dude.
Maybe I am just a hater. I'm sorry,
You're just
man.
a hater,
Swall,
hater.
I love you. I love you, man. Swall, I apologize.
You're a disappointment, dude.
I apologize. Well, Steven, I have some disappointing news for you.
Oh.
That is that SummerSlam this year, there was a big announcement surrounding it on WWE's social media, okay? And that big announcement is that finally WWE is adding a 4th hour to the SummerSlam program.
Oh, I thought you were saying Raw for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
No. To SummerSlam.
They have that much money? That's crazy.
But like, fuck. That was a mistake.
We're gonna have to watch that, you know.
I did watch it, which is the really disappointing part, because I was an idiot.
Oh my goodness.
And so
what pay-per-view was this week, by the way?
That's a great question. Fortunately, we avoided any pay-per-views. Fortunately. We did have a main event match on Raw, though, Steven, for the United States Championship match. I can have you predict what that match was. Who was in it
was
and
it
who
John
won.
Cena versus Dolph Ziggler?
Ooh, you got half of it right. It was John Cena versus the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Okay?
Wow.
I know. U.S. versus World title, Steven. The U.S. title is on the line because Stephanie McMahon said, "You guys want a World Championship match tonight between John Cena and Seth Rollins?" And then Triple H got on the microphone and said, "Well, too bad, because you're getting a United States title match."
I mean, world title at that point, you know, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, still a big deal. John Cena's
I
title.
think right now the US title is like the main title of Raw. Like,
is it? Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
But Steven, do you remember what happens during this match between John Cena and Seth Rollins?
Kane comes out.
He might have come out, in full disclosure, I don't know. But what I do know is that Seth Rollins hits John Cena with a knee strike right to the face, and it breaks John Cena's nose.
No,
it smushes
the
it
knee
across
of
his
Rollins.
face. And it's all bloody and gruesome. And then there's that photo that came out afterwards in black and white of John Cena looking like a monster. Do you remember that?
He looks like a beast.
He does, though, man.
I mean,
He
to be
looks
fair, the John Cena's a pretty
disgusting.
monstrous being anyways, like right now.
I mean, in size, he's a hulking figure, but he's a handsome man. And the moment
That's
he had his
fair.
nose busted by Seth Rollins' knee, he was not a handsome man. He was a grotesque monster.
He's a being of pure muscle.
He is that as well. He is that.
Did you
as
see that
well.
one like Instagram post or podcast like quote from the Joe Rogan's like, "The Rock might be on drugs, guys. He might be on roided."
Oh,
out."
I did.
No.
Well, he called
yeah,
for
no.
The Rock to finally admit it, is what I saw, which is like,
Yeah.
which, by the way,
man, you might be onto something, man. You might be
we may
onto
have
something,
seen
dude.
that. We may have seen that for the same reason, Steven. Because for whatever fucking reason, we signed up to Reddit with Following Lucha's email. We have a Following Lucha Reddit account. And now I constantly get notifications on our Following Lucha email about Joe Rogan's Reddit page. r/Joe Rogan sends us
Why?
notifications constantly. And I don't know why.
I don't know onto it.
I haven't either. I went on to wrestle with the package, and that was it.
Is there like a crossover between the two subreddits?
Maybe so, and understandably so as well. But fuck, Steven. Jesus, that's where we're at. So,
I mean, that just reminded me. We never have title cards anymore for matches on Lucha Underground.
oh, you mean like the shitty porno graphics from episode 1?
Yeah, like the matchup cards, like tell
You
the
say
tapes
that,
or whatever.
but this week for PenUltimaLucha, they
I
did
guess
do
for the
them.
pay-per-view.
They did like 10 of them, yeah.
But not like
So,
back then, where it's like
I
the
guess
weird
not.
photo shoot.
You're right. But Steven, that was the week of July 22nd, 2015 in pro wrestling. The main news, of course, that Hulk Hogan is a big ol' racist, you know?
And Curtis Axel.
And Curtis.
How do you think he felt when he learned that like Hulk Hogan's this huge racist that he's playing on TV?
That is really tough. That
I'm
is
a
really...
suck ass, dude.
How does Damian Sandow feel? Because he was also fucked over for just playing the Macho Man who wasn't racist. God.
No, that's insane, dude.
I know.
You know, at least Damian Sandow can like fed bad in TNA.
I guess.
I
guess so. But Steven, it is about time for our current event segment with a twist. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to it. Steven.
What's up, man?
So, this has been a very busy week for the two of us, you know? You're busy editing a Pokemon video to make up for the Trevor statue. And I've been busy celebrating my mom's 50th birthday. Okay, so...
Wow, congrats to your mom.
Thank you. I'm so proud of her for making it this far. And the point is, I am usually the boy of Following Lucha, who collects all the week of and current events for this podcast. But I personally didn't have the time.
We have no news this week.
To find the news.
Nothing happened.
So I asked you to find the news instead. And that is the report.
To you.
You didn't reply. Did you gather any news for the current events?
We got huge news actually. Okay.
Holy shit! What would that huge news be?
W. Morrissey, formerly known as
Fuck
Big
you.
Cass.
Yeah.
His new name is now Big Bill.
Yo! Dude, I was
Crazy.
so confused because I was at that AEW show in person in Austin. And when Justin Roberts said Lee Moriarty and Big Bill, I had no clue what I was about to see. I had no clue what I was about to watch. And then it was Big Cass. And I was so excited because guess what I was wearing to that show?
A little Bill shirt?
No, not a little.
Cosby?
I was not wearing a little Bill Cosby shirt. I was wearing a soft T-shirt, SAWFT soft shirt.
Oh my! Were you getting made fun of?
I wasn't made fun of. I did have some experiences though at that show, Steven, that we can get into. If you're so.
What did you experience?
Okay, well listen.
That show.
First off, Steven, with that show, I wasn't even going because I learned last minute I didn't have a ticket, and then I realized it was gonna be like $60 for me to go and get one of the worst tickets in the. Or worst seats in the entire venue, and I was like,
"Yeah, you got $60 for like a fucking third row ticket like that? That's crazy."
And it's technically not even in Austin; it's in Cedar Park, so it's about like a 45-minute to an hour drive. So I was like, I'm gonna have to pay for a $45 ticket with all those fees, and then $15 for parking, and then drive an hour, and not even be that great of a seat, whatever. But then I checked Twitter, and I found this dude who was. He was out of town last minute, so he couldn't make it to the show. And he got a floor seat, Steven. I've only been to 2 wrestling shows before on the floor. And so I was like, oh my gosh, let me reach out. Because if I pay like a lot of money for a floor seat, that's different, you know? Because the floor seats on the Ticketmaster website are like $100+. And I don't know. I wasn't too huge on the idea. But I messaged him, I'm like, dude, is that ticket still available? And he says, yes, it is. And I say, how much is it? And he says, can you do $30? Because
oh my gosh, he really doesn't want to have that ticket.
I know. Well, the show is starting in less than an hour, and I live an hour away. So it's like, I'm already going to miss some of the show if I buy it from him. And so he says $30, and I say, okay. And I Venmo him the money, and then I think I'm being scammed because I don't get the ticket for another 15 minutes because he didn't have Wi-Fi. And so he had the
Wi-Fi and like
he was driving.
Like this.
He was driving, and so he had
that's
service to message me. How's it on me that he was driving?
Oh, it's on you then, man.
Oh shit! But then he is able to get it to me. He also sent me a free parking pass, which that saved me like another $15, which was kind of crazy. And then from there, Steven, I made my merry little way to AEW Dynamite. I had a floor seat. I was 15 minutes late, so I missed Jungle Boy.
No.
But I did get to see Ricky Starks win the Battle Royal and have his promo battle with MJF, which was good. You know, that was fun.
Oh, good for Ricky. That's the promo of the year, by the way.
I love
That's what people are saying.
So, well, because I was legitimately worried for Ricky when MJF came out, because MJF did not hold back. MJF fucked with Ricky. MJF called him the Pebble, and there were people behind me that were cheering for Ricky 5 seconds before, and then were chanting Pebble right after. Okay?
Dang, dude.
So I thought,
the
fuck.
state of AEW fans.
Did Ricky just get fucked up? Did Ricky just get buried? And then Ricky gets on the microphone and he reverses it all in a second when he calls MJF Maxi Pad. And then the whole crowd just starts chanting Maxi Pad to the tune of Goldberg. It was incredible, Steven, okay?
Wow. Good for Ricky.
I know. Good for Ricky is right. But basically, it was a great old time. I had a floor seat. It was a good show. I got to see FTR versus The Acclaimed, which is really the only reason I went, is because I wanted to see that match. But there was a 6 women tag match on that show, Steven. And during the entire show, there was a group of like 6 guys behind me that were a little obnoxious, but you've been to wrestling shows now. You know that at a lot of wrestling shows, there's going to be an obnoxious group behind you. And they're going to think they are comedians. And they're going to crack jokes the entire night. And none of them are going to be funny, right?
Right.
Right, thank you for agreeing. I mean, think back. What do you remember? What were the best punchlines from the comedians around us at WrestleMania weekend, Steven, this past year?
It was the Sami Zayn match. That was pretty funny.
That wasn't even punchlines. That was just them laughing at the match because the match was funny. That's a little different. But in my mind, the funniest thing was when the guy said that Mercedes Martinez looks like punishment, or looks like Damian Priest. But that wasn't even a joke. That was just him making an observation.
Was a she, actually? Okay, fuck you.
Oh, sorry. She made an observation.
I think it's like, I don't know. Do you like when people talk during matches? Like, I'm okay with talking. I'm just not okay with people like trying to like get
if you're actually funny, absolutely. But if you're cracking dad jokes, what? But again, this is almost every wrestling show you go to, it happens. And so I'm used to it. Right? And that's what these guys are doing. What?
I wasn't used to it.
Oh, you were not used to it. Sorry. Well, I was.
Like, you know, like when you're at a movie theater and like there's that one kid who like has to like make a joke every so often.
No, I've never had that, but I've heard about it and it sounds horrible. Okay,
it's the worst thing ever, dude. Don't ever watch like anime movies in theaters. Absolute worst thing ever, dude.
Well, there's your fucking problem. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my sister's friends, and she's like, she's like a dork. See, like she's a nerd. She's like, she loves Fortnite. She loves anime. She loves all that kind of stuff. She's a little bit of a weeb. She goes to the San Japan convention in San Antonio every year, and she was saying that like she loves going to those conventions, but San Japan is the worst for her because there are so many creepy guys that like feel her up when they take photos and shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and she says that like they make her take the photo on her phone so that she has to send it to them so that they can get her phone number. Or
at that point, just be like, no, you know? I feel like.
Yeah, but Hannah's too nice of a person. She's way too nice. She's way too sweet. But Steven, anime's tough. Anime's a tough. Like wrestling's pretty bad.
I mean, what do you expect from like most of the people who watch are like socially inept and they go to an event with people?
I guess so. But point is, group of guys behind me cracking jokes the whole night. None of them funny. One guy was kind of funny behind me, but the rest not. But then it gets to the
go back and like, yo guys, you're the funny one, dude. Okay.
I did. I gave them a fist bump.
Fuck you. You guys. That's what
garbage. I did. One by one, I gave them middle fingers, Steven.
Wow. It was like an AEW wrestler already, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You gonna stick your tongue out next?
I did it when I did the middle finger. I personally thought it was a cool thing to do.
Did you blade also?
Steven, I did. I bladed myself before turning around.
Dude, John Mox didn't blade for MJF. Or MJF, man.
Oh shit. He did blade for Konosuke Takeshita on the Rampage taping, so that's cool.
He didn't blade for MJF, but played for a Rampage show.
Yo, he let Takeshita kick out of the Death Rider of the Paradigm Shift, Steven. Okay? Yeah. So
weird,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, I love it. But it got to the 6 women tag match, Steven. I don't know if you watched Dynamite. I imagine not. But the 6 women tag was Jade Cargill and the Baddies versus Kiera Hogan, Madison Rayne, and Sky Blue, okay? And 4 of those women are black in that match, right? And 4 of those women are black, and none of them are big swole. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, not according to the people behind me, because throughout the entire match, they just kept yelling out, "Big swole?"
Big Swole isn't with the company anymore.
Whenever
like
a black wrestler did it, they know. They know, because they've been laughing about Big Swole all night. They were like, what happened to Big Swole? And one of them was like, oh, she got fired. And then this match, whenever one of them...
firing, like, pretty, like, bad for, like, racial reasons?
Yes, it was. And then Tony Khan was like, I didn't fire you because blah, blah, blah. I fired you because you're a bad wrestler, which is fucking black wild.
And a bad wrestler.
Shit. But basically... whenever like a black woman would get into the ring, they would yell Big Swole, which is like, okay, cool. And then one of them said, she actually looks like Big Swole. Steven, none of the women in that match looked like Big Swole. No,
she was like juice.
It was Red Velvet. They were saying Red Velvet looks like Big Swole, and Red Velvet looks nothing like Big Swole. Okay, and then
they're black.
Yes, I'm aware. But the thing is, well, that's whatever. They're annoying. They're assholes. A little racist, right? And that's like whatever. I'm not gonna do anything.
Fine.
I'm not gonna say anything. Like
I can deal with
I'm a white guy,
you know.
Well, no, like if no one's affected by it, it's like just they're gonna keep being annoying.
Aren't you affected by it? Like right now?
I mean, yeah, it's fucking annoying. But right in front of me was I was at the show by myself. Right in front of me was a black lady right there at the show by herself, and she was like getting like like you could see her like looking behind her, like getting annoyed and stuff like that, and it's 2 rows behind her. So and then they keep going on, Steven. They start talking not just about...
How long does a joke last for? Oh my god.
Well, they did that the entire match, the Big Swole stuff. But they also... Jade Cargill came out wearing all green. And one dude on the far left side of them kept saying, I want to climb that tree. That's not... hilarious, right? He said it 4 times that he wants to climb that tree. No one laughed any of the times. Okay?
It's that funny, dude.
And then they just kept talking about how hot everyone was, right? And then like one dude was like, who's your favorite? Which one's your favorite? And they started giggling to themselves like, ha 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 ha. And
Are they like older than us? Are they our age or?
I thought they were at this point when they said who's your favorite, who's the hottest, I thought they had to be like 16, 15, right? And then they kept going.
Back. Like,
the dude on the left, the tree climber, he said, oh my god, I want to suck her titties. That's what he said. And at that point, I was like, what the... They're like, we're not like isolated, right? We're on the floor surrounded by a lot of people. The girl in front of me is getting progressively more uncomfortable as this goes on. As now it's not just the racism, the overt racism. It's also now just complete like sexual perversion, which is like,
oh my gosh.
Yes. And so she's getting more annoyed. So at that point, I look behind me. Because he keeps talking about how hot they are. I just look behind me, and I give them like what the fuck, like a what the fuck kind of look. Like, what are you guys doing?
I am a social influencer, and I think this is cringe.
Well, I just I didn't say anything. I looked behind me and gave them a look.
Yeah.
And all of them, Steven, they looked away from me, stared forward, and were quiet. And then I looked at the titty sucker one, okay? He was the one I was...
looked at the titty sucker specifically. Like, why the fuck did you say that, you little bitch? Why would you say those words?
He was the last one talking, so I looked at him. And he was like all quiet, and he looked ahead. And it's at this point I realized they are not 16-year-olds. They are all men in their 30s. They are all fat slobs, and they are neckbeards, Steven. Every one of them. And so... and also, you see me. This is a video podcast, Steven. I am frail. I am as non-masculine as you can get. Okay, from behind, it's very easy to mistake me for a woman. Okay, they probably thought I was a woman for most of the show. Okay, and I weigh like 120, 130. Okay, like that's me. That's the intimidating threat that I am. When I turned around, Steven, they shut up. They didn't say anything else for the rest of the match. Okay, that's all. They are okay, that was my experience. They shut up after that. They were scared by me. Look, I know I'm a scary guy, but then I felt good about myself because then the lady in front of me was able to watch the show without men yelling big swollen that they want to suck tits. So I felt accomplished.
I want to suck her dick, dude. But like, that's what I would say if I was in the match. Proud.
That would be, if you were next to me and you said I want to suck her dick, I would have laughed at that because I don't know what that means, Steven. I would have been very confused.
Just so fucking random, you know? I feel like just break the mood, break the immersion. and then I get kicked out for sexual harassment, I'd be okay with that. I feel like.
I guess you're sitting there with me and you turn around and like you're in on the joke. You're like, haha, yeah, I really want to suck your cock. Just really homoerotic with them.
All 4 of you.
That's even that would have been incredible.
Fucking alpha them, dude.
But like, no, the fact that there are women around, and the fact that, because again, if it's like all guys, and it's because again, like, it's not like all the guys are cool with it and are like in on it, but it's like, I personally am not going to be like affected by like the racist and the sexist remarks, because I'm a white dude, right? Like, it's just, it's not gonna have as much of an effect because I'm not black or a woman, right? But the fact that there is a black woman, they can see the black lady. She's right there in front of me. There aren't that many people in the area, and she is physically like squirming and shit throughout this stuff, and they still went on with it. It was really annoying, you know? So,
wow.
Wrestling fans are lame, Steven. I know it took me 22 years to learn it, but here I am making this realization.
It took me 1 night to learn that.
Oh shit. But then I thought wrestling fans are cool again, because there were these 2 awkward like teenagers next to me to my left. And they were
also
quiet.
a joke. They're also like saying shit like, yeah, I'll fuck her too.
I'll be honest, during the main event was the Acclaimed versus FTR. They did yell Big Swole, okay? That was the first time all night. They yelled Big Swole during that match.
I think at that point, it's like, fuck yeah, that's pretty alpha.
Well, I think they were mocking the people behind, which is, yeah. But they got excited at one other point in the match, because Don Callis appeared in the rafters, Steven, watching one of the matches. Don Callis was just there with a spotlight on him in the rafters of the HEB Center.
Was that part of the show, or like just part of the crowd? Like,
part of the show. They cut to him like briefly on the camera, but for the crowd, there was a spotlight on him the whole time. And the moment they spotted him before the cameras even showed it. They saw Don Callis before there was a spotlight on him, because this kid next to me was an antsy little motherfucker. He was looking around the entire show, just uncomfortable in his skin the entire time. It didn't seem like he liked wrestling. Yeah, he was a little something.
Hates wrestling so much, you'd rather watch the crowd of people.
Well, he legitimately, that's what he was doing. And every time he'd see something funny in the crowd, he would tap his friend on the shoulder and point, okay? So he spotted Don Callis, but they freaked the fuck out. They are the biggest Don Callis fans in the world. They haven't cheered for anyone the entire night.
I love this.
Yes!
WCW!
Yeah. They didn't cheer for anyone the whole night except for Don Callis in the rafters, Steven. Okay?
I mean, that was me with like Chavo Guerrero, you know. I was
but Chavo is understandable, because Chavo's a legend.
I was also
Don Callis,
the only one cheering for Omos at WrestleMania. Do you remember?
But that match was very good. That match was very, very good. Lashley versus
Which one, the Omos versus Bobby Lashley match?
Yeah, I like that match. But shit, AEW Dynamite was an experience. I love that I got to see Ricky and the Acclaimed. But yeah, those guys behind me were.
Well, bad for FTR. They just exist just a job. They had like 20 titles.
Yeah,
but,
they
like,
left. They lost
matter?
to the Briscoes yesterday. I heard at the Ring of Honor show in the dog collar match. So that's tough. Yeah. But any other news
people in that match?
Steven, any other news from this week in wrestling? That I may have missed at Dynamite?
Mercedes Castaner Varnado is gonna appear at Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Is that the one that looks like Damian Priest? I think so.
That's Sasha Banks.
Oh shit, my bad.
Wrong Mercedes.
Guys, this is huge, okay? Mercedes is going to New Japan, a company that has been notoriously
AEW
great to
eventually.
Women. Maybe. You think so? I feel like AEW only hires women with accents, you know? And I don't think Mercedes has an accent, which is tough.
Oh no,
Yeah, like their women's division is entirely, it's Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, and Paige at the moment. That's what it is, okay?
Paige actually like that big right now? It's crazy to me.
I mean, she's Paige. What do you mean?
It's fair. She's
like a legend. You know, because she beat up AJ Lee that one time. You know, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean,
you know that the New Day are like NXT Tag Team Champions right now?
Listen, Steven, I did see that, and I only saw it because there was one spot from this match that I loved. Did you see it where they were throwing the belts back and forth?
Apparently the match itself was like insane. Apparently this was the greatest match ever in NXT or something like that.
That's incredible. But did you see the spot where they were throwing the belts back and forth to each other or no?
Yeah, I saw that spot. Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved it when Pretty Deadly threw the belt to one another and pretended like the other member of their own team hit them. That's
dead,
awesome.
yeah.
I'd never seen that before. That's so funny. I love that.
We'll never see it ever again. We'll probably see it like on Raw eventually, you know.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
We'll probably see like
Steven,
fucking next month.
oh fuck, do you think they've already done it in NXT UK?
I thought that show died.
Yeah, who cares what happened there? I don't even know where to watch that if I wanted to. So, whatever. But Steven, that is huge news. The New Day are Triple Crown champions.
Mm-hmm.
The Acclaimed are still
so,
our
right?
AEW champions. I think they're the first. Who else would have won all three? Oh, maybe
FTR?
Street Profits.
Isn't FTR?
Oh fuck, FTR definitely would
Right?
have. Yeah,
Yeah,
they would have. So I guess it's not that big of a deal.
FTR. You know the misused tag team where they won the tag team title every like 5 months.
Listen, I just wish they would have stuck around like long enough for one night as that gimmick that Vince proposed, where they come out in the top hat and the Flava Flav clock. Okay,
I would have loved
just
that.
One
dude.
night.
I feel
just
like
one night.
You think you're gonna reference it eventually, or keep it a secret?
Oh shit, you think they're going to? They come out in AEW with those? They feel disrespected by Tony Khan from like losing all the titles and losing all the big opportunities, so they come out with a clock and all the. That'd be sick as hell if WWE didn't copyright all that shit, you know? And I can't imagine they did.
Copyright stuff they don't use. That's crazy.
Well, I feel like it was designed by their artists, so they're just entitled to the copyright because they created it, you know? I think so.
You know, that's kind of crazy actually.
What?
Gable Stevenson appeared like on Raw.
Gable Stevenson?
He's like Kurt Angle's like protege now apparently.
Well, wasn't it Kurt Angle's birthday on SmackDown or some shit?
Yeah. And they redid the milk spot, and I never realized the milk spot was really stupid because just people in the ring just standing there,
like splashing
while
around.
Kurt Angle was like getting like his like hose out, ready to shoot them. They're just
Yeah.
standing in the ring, just awkwardly like waiting.
Who
to
did
get
they
shoot
shoot
by,
milk at?
Cum.
The Bloodline?
No, that would have made him
Oh.
look weak. You see,
Oh shit.
they shot at someone even better. The Alpha Academy, of course.
Was Otis splashing in the milk, Steven?
Yeah,
That's cool. I
love it.
guess.
I seen videos of like Otis and like Chad Gable working out on TikTok because like some guy like saw them at the gym.
Listen,
it was actually like kind of
sorry.
insane, dude.
Wait, Otis? They were working out together, Otis and Chad?
Yeah, apparently they work out together. It looks
Oh, that's
insane.
so sweet. But I
Yeah, I was
just had
wearing
an
a
idea,
Metallica t-shirt and just like pumping the weights, dude.
That's
great.
great. I heard Otis is learning to
Yeah.
read because he never learned when he was little. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know, right?
Wait, how does he,
I mean, that's
how did he read his
condescending.
contract?
He had Tucker do it.
Wait, what?
You know, he had Tucker read it for him. Yeah, I believe that.
How does he
but-
drive?
Dude, I don't. He can probably read stop. That's not that hard. You know, identify a
Oh.
symbol. But Steven, listen, okay? Imagine if it was the Bloodline, but Roman Reigns simply, while Kurt Angle was trying to get the hose ready,
The
Roman
cum
Reigns
line.
climbed up onto the car, threw him off of it, and then took over the hose
Yeah.
and sprayed Kurt Angle with the milk. That would be sick as fuck. Okay.
He can't. His neck is broken.
Oh shit. He throws Gable Stevenson to the ground and suffocates him with
There you
milk.
go.
And then he just blasts Jey Uso with it as well.
Imagine like
just
finding out you're like
'cause.
lactose intolerant during one of these segments.
Well, I don't think you have to swallow the milk when you're being blasted with the hose.
I
which
mean,
is good.
I feel like it'll get in your mouth eventually, you know, the milk.
Maybe, but probably not to a level where you'll have a reaction. And I don't think it's like it'll make you break out in the hives. I don't believe.
No,
But I've never taken a milk bath with lactose intolerance, so
mm-hmm.
I guess that's a thing to note, Steven.
My
But-
goodness.
Do you have any
you-
other news? I like this. I like with you having the
you
bullet
hear?
list, Steven. Oh my god.
Did you hear?
Oh,
Did you hear what happened?
what happened?
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Oh, I did hear what happened. The Ring of Honor.
What happened to Ring of Honor? Or to Ring of Honor?
Jonathan Gresham left. How are they gonna come back from this?
It's crazy.
How are
Where's
they
he
gonna
gonna
make
go?
it without the octopus? Oh my god,
The
WWE's
octopus
gonna
man.
sign him immediately.
Okay, with Triple H in charge, that might be a thing actually.
Listen, no, because there's a reason that man wasn't signed already. You know, like
Oh,
he
why?
should have been signed years ago if Triple H cared about him. Because
Is
he
it
could have
just
been
too
signed
short
back.
for Triple H?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Is there
it
like a
seems
height limit?
he's-
If it's like if you're smaller than Rey Mysterio, it's a
Aw.
no-go.
But that could be like, that's a good gimmick being short. You know, you could do a lot with that. Like, He and
How does he stretch
Axiom
out
could
like
be tag
bigger
team.
people? Oh, you know what? Axiom talks.
Oh fuck, he's not a Prince Puma?
I didn't know that. I thought the reason I
That's
put a mask on
crazy.
because like they fucking wanted him to be like a mute. I didn't realize
Does he
could
speak
talk.
Spanish or does he have like a Spanish accent and he speaks English?
There's an accent.
Damn. They need to do a Pentagon type of deal where they just have they're like, dude, speak your native language, go for it, you know? Like if they have Gunther come out and just speak German, that'd be sick as fuck.
I feel
you know?
like that would be dope as fuck. Dude, him coming out
Yeah.
German, dude, just like yelling at people.
Holy shit, that would be really cool. And then they could get like a translator. Marcel Bartel could be the translator. Like let's say because we
Doesn't even
know
speak German.
already that
He just
Gunther
pretends to know it.
yeah, Gunther does speak English, but it could be a thing where he refuses to speak English. It's like his tongue won't do it. You know, he's so disgusted by the language. Did they?
Yeah.
Who spoke for Cesaro?
Rosa
Rosa Mendez? Was it Rosa Mendez? Shit. I don't trust her to be my translator because she doesn't know fucking Swedish.
Oh wait, maybe it was the guy who fucking who was the one that was like Goldust's partner in NXT?
Zeb Coulter? Oh shit, Maxine, not Maxine. Shit. Oksana. That's who it was.
I think it's Oksana actually.
The one who left
didn't
Teddy Long
Oksana.
at the altar. I remember now. Yeah.
Teddy Long.
Poor Teddy. Poor
guy.
He just wanted to
They're
get
already
his. He was
married.
like a 60, 70-year-old man, you know? He just leave him alone.
Have sex, dude. For dude.
I get it. So his thing was he refused to speak the language because it was so gross?
I think he said his language was better or something like that.
Wow. That is kind of
All five of them.
Wrestling fans forget. We can do it with Gunther. It'll be cooler with Gunther, you know?
I feel like the problem is if you're like a child and you're like, I mean, I guess it's cool this guy just yelling German words at you.
I would be
know?
terrified of him as a child. This large man yelling in German? Fuck. Yeah. And he makes my
bet he's
favorite
losing title to
wrestler's chest
Ricochet.
thread. Like if I'm an 8-year-old and I'm watching Walter scream in German as he fucks up Ricochet, I'm gonna cry myself to
That'd be
sleep.
pretty fucking dope.
Okay, yeah. That's what's gonna
I
happen.
feel like that Ricochet match would be pretty fun, you know? I feel like, I don't know.
I hope so.
He's gonna
I
win,
hope so.
right? I think Ricochet wins, right?
Aw, that'd be so sweet. I doubt it, but maybe.
You doubt it? And I got
I
one
doubt
final
it.
news for you. Very sad
Oh
news.
shit. Yeah? Who died?
Swerve in my glory hole.
They
has
died?
broken out
Oh,
for the
oh
third time.
no. Not again. Why
The
did they
third
do
time they
this to
hinted
us?
about breaking up.
The ups and the downs, I can't handle it. Steven.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's so crazy. Who did they
Isn't
fight?
that
They fought
insane?
Shane Taylor and who?
Chuck Taylor. Shane Taylor and Chuck Taylor. that's
Shane
who
and
they
Chuck, the long lost brothers. Is that who they are?
fought.
That's cool.
That's such a Chuck Taylor gimmick, the Long Lost Brothers.
And his brother is a large, obese black man. That is wild. That is sick as fuck.
That's an actual gimmick right there, I feel like.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I used to love when Shane Taylor and Keith Lee were a tag team. They were the Pretty Boy Killers, and they fucked up Dalton Castle's boys so bad one time. It was gruesome, Steven. It was awesome. But
Wow.
this was very good current events. I think very good episode of Following Lucha as we recapped. I just held this up like there were going to be notes. Both sides are blank. That's really demoralizing.
Oh no, you just print out paper for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I have a
dude.
new printer because my other one broke, and this one doesn't print double-sided, and I'm pissed, okay? I don't get my new printer for the warranty for another 38 days. So, calm
Talk
down.
about William Regal leaving. Oh, that was confirmed.
Oh, I
like, this
forgot
week,
about
wasn't it?
that. Well, I think we mentioned it last week, like, William
Well,
Regal
he
might
didn't leave
be
last
leaving.
week. It was a rumor. Yeah.
Yeah. But he left, guys. He's not allowed to be on
And he
TV
can't be on
in
TV.
WWE for a year. So, I mean, that's a good deal, you know? Like, yeah, go train your son and see ya, you know?
Yeah, don't get.
I mean-
Does he get paid during this year or like? Well, no, right? Because like the
I
90
mean,
day
he's
get paid.
still under contract throughout the rest of the
Oh.
year, so he'll be paid till the end of December for
Okay.
AEW is my guess.
Pretty good gig, you know, just not doing anything for a year, just getting paid.
I guess so. But Steven, that has been Following Lucha. This has been our episode recapping the penultima Lucha. We'll be back next week with our first part of our Ultima Lucha coverage. Unless it's like a Christmas special. I don't really know what's going on this month. But, Steven, do you have any
Yes.
parting words for the ninjas and ninjettes?
Hey guys, give us money. That's what
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah, you guys can
Give
do
us all
that,
your
I
money.
guess. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.